Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Shalah,
Salah,
La,
La,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Ha,
Ha,
Rakah,
Rakah,
Shaul,
Shaul,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
La,
La,
Gabar,
Gabar,
Amatka,
Amatka,
Ba,
Ba,
Quadash,
Kodash,
Saparka,
Saparka,
Wa,
Wa,
Halazah,
Halazah,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Ma,
Ma,
Kal,
Kal,
Rayam,
Rayam,
Hazah,
Hazah,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Tawada,
Tawada,
Aman.
Aman.
Hey, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
With the Hebrew Israelites of GMS, Louisiana, all right, of the Lafayette camp, coming back once again with another live camp, all right, here in downtown Lafayette. But of course, as always, before we get started, we want to turn and face the east. We want to give our praise and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah,
We want to say double honor to our apostles, our elders of Great Millstone and Rulewell, as well as Teachwell over the flock, and also peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, and like always, back at it once again in downtown Lafayette with another live camp. All right, preaching the end, the downfall of America, Babylon the Great, okay, as well as the end of the society as a whole. All right, the end of all this wickedness and the end of these heathen nations and their rulership over the planet Earth. Okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, we come out and we speak all these things into existence because, as Yahushua said in Matthew 24, that this gospel, roughly paraphrasing, this gospel will be preached in all nations, all right, throughout the four corners of the earth, and then the end shall come. All right, when you go into it, what's a major part of the gospel being preached that will bring the end of the society? The new song in Revelation 14, where it speaks about what? All right, first and foremost, us calling on the names of Yahweh Shema Shai, with us having the name of the Father written in our forehead, all right, sealed in our foreheads, all right, and preaching throughout the four corners of the earth what? Fear the Most High Yahweh, Hashem, his son Yahushai, okay, for the hour of his judgment is getting ready to come. All right, worship him that created the heavens, the earth, all right, the waters, so on and so forth. All right, and then it goes into what? Babylon the Great is fallen. Don't worship the beast or its image, and most certainly don't take his charagma, or else what? You're going to be destroyed with fire and brimstone in the midst of the holy angels, all right, in Yahushai, as well as the elect. Okay, so we're going to start off in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, where it goes into Yahushai and the angels coming back. Yahushai coming back on that great fathership, that great chariot, which Ezra described as a mountain in this chapter. Okay, basically, coming back to make war with these heathen nations and their armies and taking them down. All right, so we're going to go into it, and Lord willing, this camp will be edifying.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 1. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
So this man, all right, this man that the prophet Ezra is seeing in his vision is ultimately talking about Yahushua. You know, Yahushua coming back with the thousands of heaven, which are the holy angels. All right, which when you go on the prophecy, you know, there's millions of angels in the heavens. You know, just on the right hand side alone. So Yahushua is coming back with the mighty angels. All right, with the archangel Michael and the rest of the other 7 archangels, which we know 4 of them are mentioned throughout the scriptures, but the other 3 are not mentioned. Okay, Yahushua is coming back with the holy angels, with the thousands of them that wax strong in the heavens. All right, and it also goes into when he turned his countenance to look, because when Yahushua and the angels come back, what is the first thing that they're going to be seeing when they enter into this earthly realm? These heathen nations at war against each other. World War III, okay, which is going to be nuclear, which we know according to Joel, the 3rd chapter, the Lord's going to gather all nations and their armies into the valley of Jehoshaphat, or in the Hebrew, Yahweh Shabbat, which means the valley of the Lord of Yahweh's judgment, okay, and as we're going to go into in this
Yep.
chapter.
Mountain of truth.
Yep. You got it right.
Read.
Oh,
Nah, that was it.
okay, no.
Let me keep reading.
No.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Verse 3, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
You say, so when those armies see Yahushua and the angels coming back in those chariots, they're going to tremble. You know, because they're going to be like, oh shit, where the hell this come from? Because, hey, them angels in Yahushua, they're coming back with the power, all right, that's out of this world, you know, literally. Because that power is going to come from the heavens. Okay, it's going to be indestructible, incorruptible. All right, they're not going to be able to shoot down the chariots. Okay, none of those things. They're going to be in total fear. Okay.
I got one precept that
You got it.
All right, this is Jeremiah 30 and 6. It says, ask ye now and see whether a man does travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. All right, so basically, like the brother was going into, when Yahweh Shai, all right, and the angels track the sky, all right, what? Everybody's going to be in the shock, man. They're going to be in the array. They're going to be surprised at what? The coming of the Heavenly Father, man. All right, and with that surprise going to come, you know, them being in fear. You know, the scriptures say every knee shall bow, all right? Every tongue shall confess, you know, but going into basically everybody's gonna bow down to Yahweh Shai when he comes, man. All right, because that angelic and powerful being that he's coming on to present to the earth, man. Because the scriptures say that the Lord is not going to meet you as a man, so he's coming in that fourth dimensional, you know, body, man. So it's going to be a sight to see that day. All right.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire.
And what is the voice that's going to come out of Yahushua's mouth? It's not talking about his actual voice per se coming out of his actual mouth, but as we continue to read down, it's talking about you know, those laser beams coming out of the chariots, all right, the mouth of the chariot. You know, when you watch you know, Esau's movies or Esau's cartoons or, you know, plays video games and stuff like that, anytime when Esau portrays some type of so-called alien invasion, right, it always shows so-called UFOs known as the chariots of the Bible, the chariots of the Lord, shooting out laser beams from out of the bottom of it, okay, out of the mouth of it. That's that mouth. All right, that voice is going to come out of the mouth of Yahushua that's going to burn these heathen nations and their armies up in World War III in the Valley of Yahushua. You got it up.
Verse 5, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
So these heathen nations, they're going to have it on them. Here it is. It said a few verses above it that these nations and their armies are going to tremble when they see Yahushua, but the Lord is still going to put a spirit on them to fight against Yahushua and the angels anyway. Okay, he's going to harden up their heart, just like he hardened up Pharaoh's heart in ancient Egypt. It was all for the purpose of what? For the Lord to show his power. All right, and that's what the Most High Yahweh is going to do through Yahushua, show his power upon these heathen nations and their armies. All right, put the spirit on them to fight against Yahushua, so that what? So that he could burn them all up, and their weapons, all right, and their strength. You got it, right? Any precepts?
You got any clues? 2nd Esdras 13. You got something?
No, I can't.
You got anything for us?
No.
2nd Esdras 13 and 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had grazed himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not.
So Ezra, all right, he said he's describing the chariot that Yahushua is going to return upon, and he described that as a mountain. But he said what? That he did flew upon it. Now, of course, we know mountains can't fly. Okay, he's describing a flying object, which is a chariot. All right, and Ezra said he described it as a mountain that it was so big and so vast that he could not see, basically the ends of it. He couldn't see the back of it, or the full front of it, or the sides of it. Okay, it was so big, it was like a big fathership. And over the years, there's been pictures or videos circulating amongst the brotherhood where basically, Esau in his NASA has like photos, videos, or whatever, showing like a particular chariot or a spaceship, so to speak, that was bigger than the earth. All right, and we know that's ultimately Yahushua coming on at that great fathership, which Ezra described as a mountain. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Khan, I got something up. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4, and it says, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. All right, that great cloud going into, Yahushua, what you were speaking about, right? It says, verse 5, it says, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of but the great cloud going into, Yahushua, man. Yahushua coming on a great cloud, which the great cloud is just representative of a chariot, man. All right, the vehicle of the Heavenly Father. But that's the point that I just wanted to make. All right. Because if people think of cloud, they'll think of actual cloud, but the scriptures is speaking, different parables. For the ones that don't know, the clouds are the chariots, man. All right. You got it, right?
This is Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight.
So these nations and their armies, they were scared as hell when they saw the chariots and the power that came with the chariots. They was in great fear. But as it just said, they durst fight. Because, we know according to prophecy that these nations and their armies, they have to fight against Yahushua and the angels, when they come back, in order for prophecy to be fulfilled. Revelation, the 19th chapter, it speaks about Yahushua subduing these nations and their armies, all right, and taking upon that title, all right, that name which no man knew, which that name is going into a rank or a legacy, not his actual name, all right, which that legacy or rank being what? Lord of Lords and King of Kings. Okay, that's how Yahushua is going to obtain that title, by conquering these nations, all right, but these nations are going to have to fight against him in order for that prophecy, all right, in order for those prophecies to come to pass. And the Lord is going to put the spirit on them to fight, even though they're going to be scared as hell. Yeah, anything else? All right.
The Second Ezra chapter 13, I'm going to read verse 8 again. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. You read that again. You read it again. It says, verse 9, And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
Right, right. So when Yahushua is going to come down and see the these nations fighting, okay, he's not going to lift up any carnal physical instrument, not any weapon of war. Okay, he's not going to pick up a gun or a Uzi or a minigun or a rocket or a tank or whatever, and and take down these heathen nations. But instead, what is he going to do to subdue those heathen nations? Read the next verse. Go ahead.
Verse 10, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests.
Right. So the only weapon that Yahushua is going to use to take down these nations and their armies is that blast of fire coming out of the mouth of the chariot. He's going to destroy them with the pure power of the Lord that was given to him from his father. Okay, which that's a power that none of these nations are. None of these nations are prepared for the type of technology, so to speak, that the Lord is going to come down with. All right, through Yahushua and the angels. Okay, those laser beams of the fire coming down from the chariots. Okay, none of these heathen nations have the technology or the weaponry to, or the armory or the defense system. Okay, to match up against that. That's a power that can't be beat or stopped. Hey, Yahushua is coming back with that that juggernaut type force. A force that is coming at you. You know what's coming, but that's nothing that you can do to stop it. That's like you all right. Yeah. Matter of fact,
I got one for you.
you go ahead, because I'm gonna look up the word.
All right, this is
Shalom Akiyam, Shalom Zakwan, Yabashim Yoshabra.
Shalom,
Shalom, Yabashim Shabbat.
God. All right, backing up the brother. All right, about Yahushua coming in his spiritual power, man. All right, this is Luke 12 and 49. It says, "I've come to send fire on earth, and what will I if it already be kindled?" All right, so basically Yahushua is coming in what, in that angelic body, man. All right, as the scriptures say, I will not meet thee as a man. So that's a part of the power, as the brother was saying, that was given to Yahushua to come and destroy the earth, man. Which is by way of fire, man. Which is those concentrated beams of energy, man. Which is fire, man. All right. That's it on that, right?
Now, real quick, I have the word juggernaut. This done. Let this noise pass. All right. Now, this is the definition of the word juggernaut from Google. It says juggernaut, a huge, powerful, and overwhelming force or institution. Woo. Hey, so Yahushua is coming back, all right, as a huge, powerful, all right, overwhelming force. Meaning what? Like it's damn not going to he's going to baptize them with the power in the destruction of the Lord. Okay, he's going to overwhelm them as well as their weapons, as well as their air force, their space force, all right, all of their nuclear capability. All right, Yahushua and the angels. Hey, these nations won't be any match for the Lord in his heavenly army. That's why the scriptures says in James the 5th chapter that Yahushua is the Lord of Sabaoth, which means what? The Lord of heaven's armies. Okay, this is a heavenly army that the Lord is coming down with. Like the brother Amos brought up a few times in the lesson, the Lord will not meet thee as a man. Okay, he's not going to come with the power of man. He's going to come with the power of the heavens from his heavenly Father Yahweh. Okay. All right, that was it on that. Go back to
I got a quick one.
you got it right.
You got to go to backing you up. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse 6. Because just backing the brother up, the strength of the Lord coming from the Father, all right, is likened unto these things, all right? It says, may any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may any one quench the fire and stubble when it had begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence?
Hey, so all that the brother just read in 2 Ezra 16 showcases the power that the Lord is going to, come with to bring judgment upon this earth. Okay, he's going to send a fire throughout the earth in the form of what? Those ICBM nuclear missiles, all right, hypersonic missiles, which you see certain countries around the world have those type of missiles, all right, hypersonic, which can travel at 5 to 7 times, this 5 to 7 times, right, the speed of sound, like the brother just said, okay, and then not to mention it's going to come with the fire of the chariots, and so hey, the Lord is threatening Babylon the Great as well as this beast system as a whole, okay, and he's going to beat this place down to powder, all right. The Lord's going to destroy all the energy of this place, primarily Babylon the Great. He's going to turn it into a nuclear fire. He's going to shower this place with the missiles, all right, that brimstone that the scripture speaks about, okay, and turn this place into a complete desolation, all right. That's more. I'll go back to 2 Ezra 13, and I got one as well when we stop again. Okay.
This is back in 2 Ezra 13, and I'm going to read 10 again. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke, powder, dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid.
Man, hey, so all those things, they mixed up together. All right, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest, all that power just mixed up into one concentrated beam of light, like the brother said earlier. Okay, to fall with violence upon these nations and their armies. And as you just said, all right, so that upon a sudden, a sudden meaning what? Quickly. Yeah. So when Yahushua comes back with the power of those chariots, especially the power of that fathership chariot, okay, and all that power is mixed up together, the blast of fire, the great tempest, all these things, it's going to fall with violence upon these nations and their armies. So much to where it says in verse 11, so that upon a sudden, all right, upon a sudden, when something suddenly happens, it means what? It quickly happens. So, in a sudden, all right, these nations and their armies are going to come to a thing of naught. They're going to be, be nothing. But they're going to be, brought down to dust and powder. Okay, as the brothers read in 2 Ezra 16. Okay, Yahushua is going to completely obliterate these nations and their armies. You know.
Yeah, you want to bring it up? Yeah, I can bring it up. Yeah. All right.
You can speak on this,
Okay. This is Joel chapter 3, start at verse 9. It says, I'm going to start at verse 2 and I'm going to jump down. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Get that word on just to illustrate the scenery. It says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right? So ultimately, the Lord is going to gather these nations up in the scenery over there in the Middle East, and they're going to be round about, like we call down south, crowding or getting ready to bush Yahweh man, or try to jump him. And they're going to be coming with all their might. You're going to see China, Russia, America, Iran, okay, Israel at the height of Turkey, at the height of their nuclear power. I'm talking about giving it all they got, man. And it's still going to be not even nearly a match for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, the holy angels. All right? It's really going to be a great showing of the Lord and his power and a display of his power in delivering the elect of the nation of Israel. You got it, brother? Yeah. You can bring it up in a minute. All right. Okay.
Strong's H 3092. Yehoshaphat.
Okay. And it says, I know it says, I'm going to say Yahweh has judged.
Who has judged? That means what? It's past tense. You got it, bro.
It says, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yahweh has judged. So that's it. That's the only definition.
That's the only definition that's needed. Yeah. Hey, because, basically when you break down the name Jehoshaphat or Yehoshaphat in the Lashon Kodash, Yahweh obviously being the name of the Father, in which we believe in that name through faith. All right? So you have Yahweh, and then Shaphat in the Hebrew means, judge or judgment. So, literally backing up the brother's definition. Yahweh Shaphat, Yahweh has judged. Yahweh's judgment. That valley where the Most High Yahweh is going to bring judgment upon these heathen nations and their armies, which is in the Middle East, like the brother just said. Okay, you got it, huh?
All right. I'm going to just read it in the NLT. This is Joel 3 and 2 in the NLT. It says, I will gather the armies of the world. Ooh, and in the title of this particular chapter, it says, judgment against enemy nations. It says, I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, where I will judge them for harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing of my land. You got it, brother.
Hey. So the Lord's going to bring all that judgment for his people's sake, because of what these nations did to his people. Going back to Psalms 83. What is that chapter all about? These different nations. All right, Esau, Moab, Ammon, Amalek is also included in that chapter. Okay, that's right. Who took a council together. They counseled together to do what? To take away the name of Israel from our people. All right, and ultimately separate us from our power.
That's right. Hey, and part that land. Chiefly you, Amalek, man. You have control over parting that land, man. All right. Like they say, the greater Israel, man. We know all about these things. The Most High has uncovered those locks and made you bare, man. And we see who's ruling the planet Earth right now through prophecy, and it's Esau, Edom, man. But it says, I'm gonna jump down. To verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. No matter of fact, I'm gonna read verse 4. It says, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Look who the Most High is speaking specifically to, man. That's talking about areas of modern day Israel, man. Who controls modern day Israel right now? The Amalekites. So the Most High is speaking in parables to identify you through these areas of land masses that surround Israel, man, Jerusalem. And who's controlling it? We know we not. We here in America, man. We in slavery, catching hell on the daily for the name of Yahweh Shem. These elites are those. But it says, O Tyrians dying and all the coasts of Palestine, will ye render me a recompense? Question mark. And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Right, man. So the Most High is going to judge. That's why it's called what? That valley of decision, man, which goes into Armageddon or Mountain of Truth. All right. But it says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold. So the Lord just differentiated right there. He said, okay, well, who's going to get the recompense upon their own head? That's somebody. Now, this is somebody else. It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold. Now, we got to ask ourselves, who's the Lord's silver and gold? There's somebody's going to get a recompense upon their own head for doing something. All right? There's two classes. You got Israel and you got our oppressor, man, Esau, Edom. But it says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, right, the Lord's possession, the elect, it says, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, man. And that's Esau, Edom, man. He defiled that temple, man. And he's trying to ultimately defile our temple, all right? But with that Revelation 13, I'll let the brother get it, man. You got it, man. You got it, brother.
Yeah, the piece of one.
You got it, right?
Let me go back to second Ezra 13. Jump down to verse 25.
The second Ezra 13 and 25. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea.
Right. So now the angel is getting ready to break down this vision that Ezra was seeing in a dream. Okay, he's getting ready to break it down for him, give him an understanding. All right.
It says, verse 26, the same is he whom the Most High, the highest, hath kept a great season, which by his own hath kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature. So, like, I'm going to read that over. Verse 26, the same is he whom the Most High, the highest, had kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature. Then he shall order them that are left behind.
Hey, so the Most High Yahweh has kept Yahweh Shai back for a great season. Okay, for the purpose of prophecy, of course. Okay, for Esau, Edom. All right, for the ancient Roman Empire to be taken down. All right, for Esau, Edom to go to dwell in the caves of Europe for a period of 1,000 years, known as the so-called Dark Ages, and then eventually for Esau, Edom to come out of those caves during the so-called Renaissance period. All right, and come back into power, do all types of wickedness and rape, robbery, and murder throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, so and for it to ultimately lead to America coming into power. That great season that Yahweh Shai, that the Most High Yahweh kept Yahweh Shai back. All right, he kept them, held them back for the times that we're in right now, because now the Lord's getting ready to send Yahweh Shai back to this earth to deliver its elect. And as he just said, can you read that verse again?
All right. Second Ezra 13 and 26. The same is he whom the Most High, the highest, had kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind.
All right, so Yahweh Shai, not only is he going to destroy the nations and the armies, but he's also going to deliver his creature. Who is his creature that he's coming back to deliver? The elect of the nation of Israel. And to prove that, real quick, what's it? Let's skip a second. I think it's in chapter 8. 8 right now. I want to say I think I'm finding it right here in second is 8. Second is 8. We start at verse 45. Read down to 47. One of you brothers want to read it first?
I got it. Second Ezra 8 and 45. Be not wroth with us, but spare thy people, and have mercy upon thine own inheritance, for thou art merciful unto thy creature.
Right. So Ezra is basically pleading to the Lord to have mercy upon his people, which are the Israelites. It's about the prophet Ezra. Okay, was an Israelite himself. I believe he was of the tribe of Levi, if I'm not mistaken. He dwelt in the temple. All right, he was among the priesthood. Okay, he was in captivity during the time of the Babylonians. All right, go ahead.
And it says, and whereas thou sawest that.
Yeah, that was it right there, huh? Verse 45. Merciful unto thy creature.
Yeah, that's what I just read.
Yeah, come. Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
read it again.
yeah, come.
2nd Ezra 8 and 45. Be not wroth with us, but spare thy people, and have mercy upon thine own inheritance, for thou art merciful unto thy creature.
Right. So that's the creature of the Lord. The the top creature of the Lord, the Israelites. All right. So when we go back to 2nd Ezra 13 in verse 26.
All right, let me read the letter. And it says, which by his own self shall deliver his creature.
All right, his creature, which is the elect of the nation of Israel. When you read in Matthew 24, verse 29 on down, when Yahushua and the angels come back, it tells you in that chapter, all right, Yahushua said he's going to send the angels throughout the four winds of the earth to gather the elect. Okay, which who is the elect? All right, ultimately, Israel is the elect, but it's going to start with the elect of the nation of Israel, which is the 144,000 down to the large multitude that comes upon the 144,000. All right, that whole entire number represents the remnant, or the 1/3. Okay, but as we're going into the creature of the Lord is the Israelites that he's going to deliver. Go ahead.
Which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind.
Order them that are left behind. The elect that's going to be here on earth at the time that Yahushua and the angels going to come back. Okay, starting with the 144. The Lord's going to set them in order. Because what is the 144,000? The tabernacle of David. Okay, what is the tabernacle of David going to serve in the kingdom of heaven? They're going to be the governing body of the kingdom under Yahushua. Okay, real quick, can one of you brothers get Isaiah 9 and 6? Just to prove that point. Got it.
All right, this is Isaiah 9 and 6. And it says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given.
And we know this child, this son is talking about Yahushua. Brothers always bring the scripture out. All right, go ahead.
And the government shall be upon his shoulders.
The government shall be upon his shoulder. Yahushua is going to carry the team. Like when you watch a lot of these, superstars in the NBA or whatever, LeBron James, whatever, when they make it to the playoffs and make it to the finals or whatever, and they have, a suck team, they basically make it to that stage by carrying the team, by putting the team on their back. That's what Yahushua is going to do for his government body, which is the 144,000 tabernacle of David. Go ahead.
All right, and it says, it says I'm going to read it again. This is Isaiah 8 and 6. It says, 9 and 6, it says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the mighty power, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Right, going into multiple titles that Yahushua is going to have once we get into the kingdom. Okay, because all those things that it just said is not saying Yahushua's actual name per se, but it's just going into his legacy, his rank, all right, his memorial, his monument, his glory, his fame, reputation. All right, Shem, which is the word name in the Hebrew, Shem. Okay, Yahushua is going to obtain all these titles. All right, go ahead.
It says, verse 8, the Lord sent a word unto seven?
Yeah.
All right, it says, of the increase of his government and the peace there shall be no end. Unto the throne of upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it.
To what?
To order it
upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it, showing you what? That the throne of David is synonymous with the kingdom of heaven. That's going to be the governing body, the government that's going to be upon Yahushua's shoulder. And he's going to order it. All right, order those that are going to be left behind. those that's going to endure to the end to live to see Yahushua when he cracks those clouds with the holy angels. Okay, go ahead.
It says, and to establish it with judgment.
And to establish it with judgment. That governing body, the throne of David, Yahushua is going to establish it throughout the four corners of the earth to bring forth righteous judgment throughout the earth. Righteous judgment via what? The laws, the statutes, and the commandments of the Bible. Okay? These nations, they're not going to be able to, forward their technology and their science no more. They're not going to be able to eat abominable foods. They're not going to be able to be allowed to worship their idols and their heathen gods, their so-called left-hand holidays. No, this earth is going to be ran with, righteousness according to the law. And we're going to rule over these nations with a rod of iron, so that if they go off, then they're going to get beat down, all right, in the kingdom.
You want me to continue?
Yeah, you can finish it off. We're going a little bit.
All right. It says to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this.
Right. So that's the zeal as well as the will of the Lord to perform all the things that the brother just read. All right, that governing body being set up in the kingdom under Yahushua. All right. Yeah, so much.
Yeah, I got one. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 63, verse 1. Because as the scriptures identify, Yahushua is that wonderful counselor, that Prince of Peace. All right. Before peace, you have what? You have war, man. All right. So this was going to happen. This is Isaiah 63 and 1. It says, "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save." You see, so it's still alluding to that Isaiah 9 and 6. It says, "I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save." Prince of Peace, wonderful counselor. All right. So that's talking about Yahushua, point blank, period, man. All right. But it's going to get down to, I'm going to just read down, keep reading. It says, "Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treaded in the wine fat?" Question mark. So why are your garments red, as if you've been trodden in the wine press? You come from Edom, all right? Your garments are dyed, they're stained up. What's going on here? So it says, "I have trodden the wine press alone." So, okay, well, this man coming from Edom, dyed garments, saying he trodden the wine press alone. Well, where was everybody else? Where's everybody else at? What's the stain about? Okay. All right. It says, "I have trodden the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment." And that's going to be the end result of these other nations coming up against whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, man. He's going to have stains all on his garment, man. Meaning what? He came alone. He tried it alone. Meaning what? There was no one to help him. So Yahushua, through Yahweh, gets that ultimate victory, man. He's worthy of it, man. He's deserving of coming back and destroying these nations in a flawless victory, man. Like it tells you in Revelation, the first chapter. It says, "All shall behold him, even those that pierced him." And that's beautiful because he's going to get the ultimate vengeance. They're back here in America. They're across the four corners. They hate Yahushua. They hate this word, man. And we're seeing it right now because this society is going to, it's attempted to totally replace the anatomy that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has put in us, man. Esau Edom, that's what he's attempting to do with this, man. He's attempting to put technology, his purpose, in mankind, man. You can't defeat the Lord, man. That's why the Lord is going to do him so ridiculously horrible, man. It says, "For the day of the vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. For we know that our Redeemer liveth," man. All right, and Lord willing, like the name of the year, Lord willing, this is the year of the Redeemer, man. The hopeful year that all the prophecies come to pass, man. Lord willing, this is that year. So it says, "For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come." So the Lord is meditating on this, man. How America is going to get destroyed, man, and we're going to get the victory. So that's why we say, man, we can't go and just bare arms, get cornered with this place, man. We got to wait on our Redeemer, man. Because it's going to be much more than we could ever do to you, Esau. Much more than we could ever do to you, Moab, Ishmael, Ammon. So we know that our Redeemer living, man. He living through us, through these words right now, man. We're going to get the rest later, but it says, and I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore, mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me.
Boy, say something like you got it right.
There you go. God, and I'm gonna just read it down. I want to read it in the NLT just to go into it because it's a banger, man. It says, "And I will tread down the people in my anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth," man. Right, and it tells you in Revelations that what the Lord is gonna come back upon his head, wear many crowns, man. Does that mean the Lord is going to actually be like, hey, look, here's Russia, here's Moab? That's symbolic for saying that he's going to take them down, man. He's going to take their infrastructures down because they're all turning towards that Revelation 13 and 16, man. Moab is on the core with this, man. Russia is on the core with this, man. That's why they're not going to regard the gold and silver of the society because what? They want something else. All right? That NWO. But it says, and I will tread down the people in my anger and make them drunk in my fury and bring down their strength to the earth, right? I will mention the loving kindness of the Lord. So the Lord is saying, okay, through all this, you come from Edom, destroying these nations, right? Starting with Esau, Edom. Now you're going to have mercy. So where's the mercy going to go to? So that shows you, hey, man, the Lord is going to deliver us, man. It says, I will mention the loving kindness of the Lord and the praises of the Lord according to all that the Lord has bestowed on us, and the great goodness toward the house of Israel, which he had bestowed on them according to his mercies and according to the multitude of his loving kindness, man. So the Lord is going to stand on our behalf, and I'm going to just read through it in the NLT.
You got it right.
It's Isaiah 63 and 1. And y'all brothers can stop me when we be on 1. It says, who is this who comes from Edom, from the city of Basra, with his clothing stained red? Who is this in royal robes, marching in his great strength? It is I, the Lord, announcing your salvation. So when the Lord defeats these nations in Yahweh Shaphat over there in the Middle East, man, that's the announcement of our salvation, man. We've been saved, man. That's his declaration on the planet Earth that I've saved these people. This is my people. All right, this is who I'm dealing with. This is my name, man. And this is my wrath. This is who my wrath went to, and this is who my mercy went to, man. So it says, all right, Isaiah 63 and 2. Why are your clothes so red? As if you have been treading out grapes. I have been treading the winepress alone. No one was there to help me. In my anger, I have trampled my enemies as if they were grapes. In my fury, I have trampled my foes. Their blood has stained my clothes. For the time has come for me to avenge my people, to ransom them from their oppressors, man. And that's what Yahweh Shah is going to do. He's going to ransom us, man. He already bought us back in blood. So we're already ransomed. We just got to have that faith, man, and believe that the Lord came and chose us to save us, man. Rock it out, brother. Hey, true, bro.
Hey,
True.
yeah,
Lord bless the truth. So it says, Isaiah 63 and 5, I was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed. So I myself stepped in to save them with my strong arm, and my wrath sustained me.
Right. None of these nations are coming in to help out our people, which are, oppressed to this day in this society. Okay, these heathen nations are looking to further our oppression. Okay, we know the ultimate goal of, to further our oppression is, once again, this right here, the Revelation 13 and 16. This is what these heathen nations, starting with the nation of Esau, Edom, are using to help further and continue our oppression, are to keep us separated from the Lord, are to keep us separated from our power and our legacy as Israelites, and to cleave us to Him and His whatever He got going on. Okay, Yahweh Shah is coming back to put a stop to all of this.
Right. That's beautiful. Because like you said earlier, to order those that left behind. We brought that Isaiah 9 and 6 to show that Yahweh Shah is that government is coming back on his shoulders. But what does Esau have? New world order. The Lord said he's going to order us in a certain way, but Esau said he got a new world order, man. You see what I'm saying? This town ain't big enough for both of us, Esau. This is like a good old movie where it's coming down to a climax. All right, you got a hero versus a villain. We all know that story, man. The hero is oppressed in the story, down, beat up by the system. He goes against the system for something that's righteous, and he prevails. That's like it unto the elect, man. Yahushua did it and defeated the flesh, man. Lord willing, we be purified in that same lot to be made worthy to be up under Yahushua, man, as the hopeful elect. That was it, brother. That was it, brother.
Yeah,
I
what
got
up?
something just backing up the brother going into their destruction.
Mhm.
All right, this is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 6. I'm going to read down to 8. Verse 6, it says, I have cut off the nations, their towns are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by.
Hey, the Lord don't speak upon these nations talking about, man, I'm going to bring in the nations and be amongst these. No, the Lord specifically tells you time after time, I'm going to cut off the nations. I'm going to cut off the horns of these powers, man. I'm going to cut off the powers of Egypt, man. Clear separation, man. You got it out.
It says their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabited. It says, I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instruction, so that dwelling should not be cut off. However, I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings.
Mm.
All right, this is the point right here. It says, therefore, wait upon me, said the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey.
We
For
to the what?
the prey,
The what?
prey.
The Lord said He's going to rise up to the prey, man. The Lord is the predator, man. The ultimate predator, man. Predator, man. These other nations are the Lord's prey, man. You better believe that. Just like we've been their prey, now the shoe is going to turn. It makes sense, man. We get this. We just have to have faith and believe that, hey, no matter what happens, we're going to go all the way and endure it to the end for the Lord. We want to be ordered. You got it, brother.
All
That's
right.
beautiful. Where you at,
Zephaniah 3 and 8. Zephaniah 3 and 8.
You got it, bro.
All right. And this is the definition of pray. It says booty, pray. Because that's what basically Yahushua coming to do. He said what? Like the brother said, he said that he's coming to take many crowns, right?
Right.
So with those many crowns comes treasure, land, and everything else with it, right?
That's right, brother.
And
The fatness of the
the
earth.
fatness
Yep,
of the
right,
earth.
right.
So with that, so what comes with that, all right, who's entitled to that as well if they continue to do the work?
Sounds like an inheritance to me.
Joint heirs. Yeah.
That's right.
Sounds
that's
like
right.
inheritance to me. And real quick, just to back up your point about how those crowns also come with lands and resources and wealth and all those things. When you go to Genesis 49, when it talks about Yahushua knowing that Shiloh in that chapter, it speaks about how it's his eyes shall be red with wine and his teeth shall be white with milk. When you look up that word milk in the Hebrew, it goes to resource. It goes into like resources, the fatness of the earth.
Milk and honey.
Yeah,
Right.
God.
Start with the motherland, Jerusalem, man. All right. Everything else is gonna flow from Jerusalem. Still, the earth is gonna abide forever, man.
Yeah.
We're always gonna have Jerusalem, man, and everything is gonna flow from that. The riches of the earth, the resources, the gold, the silver, real money, man. And that's what you see is gonna prevail because the Lord said He doesn't change, man. The same resources back then are the resources that are the true resources of the planet Earth right now. Esau's just hoarding it up, man, and trying to feed us with his technology, man. We don't want that BS, man. You know what real riches are, Esau. And it's land, cattle, gold, silver, and the elect, man. The nation of Israel. We didn't forget about that part, man. You got it, brother.
All right. And it says, my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation,
Righteous anger.
right?
Go ahead.
Even all my fury, anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with fire of my jealousy. With the fire, it says again, I'm going to say it again. For the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. There you have it, man. The earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy because what? They're holding the what? The precious gold, man. They're holding Israel, man. All right, they're trying. He's trying to implant us with what? That charisma, man. All right, there you go, man.
There you go.
All right. Yep.
I got that in the NLT for you, brother. You got it again. This is Zephaniah 3. And I'm gonna start at 5. I'm shot in the NLT. It says, "But the Lord is still there in the city, and He does no wrong. Day by day He hands down justice, and He does not fail. But the wicked show no shame." It says, "I have wiped out many nations, devastating their fortress walls and towers." You got to look at the background of the Lord before you go playing with Yahweh Shem Shine. You got to know that the Lord takes down fortresses, takes down walls, takes down great nations, man, and makes them be brought to naught, man, to nothing, to seen as if they're just a memory in existence, man. And that's what America is going to be done, man. But it says, "Their streets are now deserted, their cities lie in silent ruin. There are no survivors, none at all. I thought,"
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can continue on.
all right, it says, "I thought surely they will have reverence for me now. Surely they will listen to my warnings. Then I won't need to strike again, destroying their homes. But no, they get up early to continue their evil deeds. Therefore be patient, says the Lord. Soon I will stand and accuse these evil nations." These evil nations, man. So the Lord, He's ultimately the judge of it all, man. A judge does what? Evaluates the law and says what? There's an accused and there's an accuser. All right? And that's how the planet Earth is governed right now. It's no different, man. All right? It says, verse 10, it says, "Surely they will listen to my warnings." Verse 7, "Then I won't need to strike again, destroying their homes. But no, they get up early to continue their evil deeds." And that's like it on the Esau Edom, man. The scriptures tell you what, he groped in the noonday. All right, he hided himself. But also, that's like it on our people, 2/3 of Israel, man. Get up early. Jake say what? Jake will always say this. He say, man, what? I get up early, take a piss, take a shit, wash my hands, thank the man, roll me up something. You know what I mean? That's the culture of the society, man. Pure wickedness, man. Wise to do evil. But it says, "For I have decided to gather the kingdoms of the earth and pour out my fierce anger and fury on them. All the earth will be devoured by the fire of my jealousy."
That's right. All the earth shall be devoured by the fire of my jealousy, man. Which is the brothers was going into earlier, which is that fire going into those chariots and those concentrated beams of energy, man. All right, raining down on America, man. All right, done. All right,
That was it.
that was it on that.
Get back to that second Exodus 13.
All right.
26 again.
All right. This is second Ezra 13 and 26. "The same as he whom the Most High, the highest, hath kept a great season, which by his own will, which Salaki, which by his own self," you see, like we brought on Isaiah 63, "my own arm had brought thee salvation," man. It says, "But by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came as a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in him, Salaki, the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him." This is the interpretation.
Yeah, so the angels breaking down the Esdras, that that fire, that blast, that great tempest was a great rushing of energy coming down from the mouth out of the chariot. All right, to destroy the multitude of those nations and their armies that bucked up to fight against Yahushai and the angels. Okay, to fight against the chariots. All right.
Keep going.
Yeah.
It says, "This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth." And it says, "He shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, and one shall undertake to fight another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another."
One realm against another. So literally, when the battle of Armageddon is going to take place, all right, in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, all right, World War III, okay, it's going to be one realm against another. The heavenly realm All right, the right hand side of the heavenly realm, fighting against the heathen nations and their governments and their armies in this earthly realm. So it's going to be a battle of realms. So, you know, the battle of good and evil, the battle against heaven and earth, you know, all those things like that. Hey, so this next war for this next war for world domination is going to be literally on a whole nother level. You know, that's why even you know, we read early in Isaiah 9 verse 6 on down, but when you go to Isaiah 9 in verse 5, it talks about how, you know, every battle is with confused noise and rolling of blood and things like that.
This one is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be with
Nuclear.
the
Man, the Lord tells you, man, listen. And we know it through the history of the scriptures, like World War I, World War II. It goes into those different types of wars and the weaponry that was used. Now this one is different, man, because this place has ultimately be destroyed because Esau is at the height of this right now. He wanted to fulfill this in ancient Rome, man. All right, he was seeking out because, like it tells you in First Maccabees, when they came into power, he had been since Esau came into power. This was his agenda, man, to ultimately get the world, the entire planet under his accord, man. He tried to fulfill it in Rome, couldn't fulfill it, but now he's going to be at the height of it, where it's actually going to be rolled out, as we say. It's going to be implemented, man, in this society, man. All right, according to prophecy, and that's when the Lord has had enough, man. You went too far. You going too far, man. So the Lord sends us out to warn the people, man. We doing that right now, man. Our lives are at risk sending this message. You gotta back up somebody. We're not in the camera.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Our lives are at risk even sending this message, man. So this is the highest calling on the planet Earth. That was it, brother. Back in that
Verse 31. Yeah, stop at 31.
2nd Ezra 13 and 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. Mind about that?
This is Revelation 12 and 7. It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and fought against his angels. Right? So Michael, the archangel, right, the angel of war, fought against what? The dragon and his angels. Right? Which are the dragon represents, you know, the EU in the United States. Okay, and which makes NATO, which makes up you know, their air force, man. All right, that's their angels. All right,
Yeah.
which is their air force, man.
Beautiful.
All right.
Hey, and if I could say, as what it says, one people against another, because you're going to have race wars, you're going to have class wars, black versus white, you're going to have this police precinct versus this police, city versus the sheriff, sheriff versus state, all right? You're going to have, this side of town versus that side of town, the usual, we know that, all right? But it's going to get deeper than that as well, man. That's why it says, one people against another, all right? One city against another, this city versus that city, all right? You can't go into that city unless you want that, all right? It says one place against another, you're going to have state versus state, all right? One people against another and one realm against another, because Esau, he's priding himself now on what? His SpaceX, his space military, man. Esau has a space military, man, all right? That's another realm, man, okay? And another realm has to be faced with another realm, man, which is the Lord, like the brother brought out, of Sabaoth, man, the armies of Israel. And Michael and his angels, like it tells you in Psalms, let me get it real quick, guys. It's Psalm 68 and 7. I was thinking about this earlier. Like the Lord tells you, man, it's in a, and the brother of mine, you brought that out from the beginning, it's an innumerable amount, man, of holy angels. Okay, here we go. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 68. You got it, brother. I just want to bring it out. This is Psalm 68.
How's it word?
It says, the Lord will come with his power with thousands of angels. Let me get it real quick. Bear with me, Aki. Bear with me. I got it real quick. Oh, it was 68. Psalm 68 and 17. It says the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them. It says the Lord is among them, man. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place.
And thousands and thousands of angels the Lord's going to come back with. Okay, when you read that in different translations, when you read that in different translations, those thousands upon 10,000 translates to millions. So, hey, innumerable. God, he's going to come back with an innumerable amount of angels, like the brother just said. Okay, and these heathen nations and their armies won't be, no match against that type of power. Just like I brought out earlier, Yahushua is coming back with a juggernaut type of power, a huge, powerful, all right, overwhelming force. All right.
I just read Psalm 68 and 17.
Back in 2 Ezra 13, verse 32.
All right, 2 Ezra 13 and 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending.
And you notice,
Acts, man.
yes, yeah, and you notice this word "son" right here in verse 32 is spelled with a capital S. Showing you what? It's not just talking about any old regular son. No, this is talking about the Son of God Himself. All right, Yahushua, who sits directly on the right hand of the Heavenly Father. All right, waiting for the Lord to give him the signal, all right, to come back and crack those clouds to deliver His elect, as well as destroy these heathen nations. Okay.
Man. Can I bring this out? It's back in Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye, you got it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Hey, these smaller, weaker countries throughout the world, all right, North Korea, Pakistan, India, all right, what's some more? You know, all these, Libya, Iran, okay, Turkey,
South Africa.
Yep, South Africa, Syria, another one. You know, all these. All these smaller and weaker countries that you would never think would ever buck up against America or NATO or the EU are now doing just that. Yep. You know, they're ramping up their military power, their nuclear capability, their weaponry, and all these things. All right, now these nations are saying that they're strong. They're feeling strong. Okay, and ultimately it's because the Lord is building them up like that. And we also know, according to prophecy, according to Ezekiel 38, where it goes to Gog and Magog, which is symbolic of Russia. Okay, certain of these smaller countries that you see building up into power, it tells you in Ezekiel 38 that Gog and Magog, or we know today as Russia, would be a guard unto these other nations. And so, when you go into it,
Turkey, Libya, Iran,
yep,
all those smaller nations, all right, but still they have nuclear capability. So when the United States makes its move on Iran, the United States and Iran, they've been struggling, controversial for years, man. But it's all according to prophecy. When they do that, all right, you have America and Israel versus Russia and Iran, man. Russia being that guard onto Iran, but Iran still having that nuclear capability, trading with Russia, doing certain nuclear deals with Russia to strengthen themselves, man, for the time to come where they're going to shoot their missiles on America, man. And even the scriptures tell you, even America's allies, man, all right, are going to shoot missiles on them, man. That's how much this place is going to get rained on, man. You got anything? I got a quick one for you. It's Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
Right. All the kings of these heathen nations, which are what? Their presidents, their prime ministers, their the leaders of these different nations, their hearts, meaning their minds, all right, their minds and their intents are all in the hands of the Lord. including the hearts of the leaders of these countries within NATO, as well as the EU. Because like the brother I had made reference to, when you read in Revelation the 17th chapter, it tells you what? That the beast, all right, the beast, NATO, all right, the European countries within NATO, as well as the EU, are going to do what? They're going to hate the whore. What is that whore that it speaks of in Revelation 17? That sitteth upon the beast. That's America.
Yeah.
Okay? The so-called virgin daughter of Babylon, pursuant to Isaiah 47. But it's really a whore, because this place is laid in bed, so to speak, with all these different nations are consuming their goods, taking in all these different imports. All right, these nations have gotten rich off of America. But hey, the Lord's getting ready to put a stop to all of that in this next world war.
Yeah, I got one. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and 1. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will rise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me in destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her." All right, and those fanners are speaking about the angels of the Lord. All right, the angels working on the minds of these different kings of the earth to get ready for that war. All right.
And if I may say too, like a fanner, like if you have a fire that breaks out, right? When you fan that fire, it makes the fire bigger.
Yep.
It adds more oxygen to the fire.
Right.
Hey, the Lord's fueling the fire more and more against this place.
It says, "And shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about."
Man,
Hey,
roundabout, man.
Yep.
But not roundabout saying, "Hey, let's talk. Let's work it out. Let's sign some nuclear deals. Let's sign some those like the America like to do those treaties, man. Let's sign a treaty." Nah, man. They're gonna be roundabout saying, "Hey, I got my nuclear capability. You got yours. Let's blitz this whore."
yeah.
All right, just backing you right up. You got it. It's Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 50, Salakia, and 13. You got it, brother. It says, I'm gonna start at 12. It says, "Your mother shall be sore confounded." Whew. Your mother shall be sore confounded, man. All right. And what's that talking about? Great Britain, man. All right. Because America, you got it, brother. You got it.
All right. Read it one more time, no time.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 12. "Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert."
Yeah, like the brother was about to say, that mother is speaking about Britain, man. All right, which America was pretty much built from, that foundation. All right.
Through the result of basically the Revolutionary War, man, America gained its independence. All right, because you had the 13 colonies, all right, which America stemmed from. But it says, "Your mother shall be sore confounded, she that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert." Why is that? Because these other nations, even America's allies, are going to shoot missiles at them, man. They're going to completely render this place desolate. But it says, "Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hissed at all her plagues." It says, just backing you up, you got it. It says, "Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord."
That's right. So bring the bow, man. All right. And bending that bow is talking about those ICBM missiles. All right. Which ultimately are going to be shot off from those silos all the way on this side of the earth, man. All right. And destroyed. Okay. Let's see.
It's verse 15. It says, "Shout against her round about, for she had given her hand." I know what I'm doing. Verse 13. Verse 15. "Shout against her round about, she had given her hand her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her as she had done, do unto her.
Yeah, man. So
Man,
basically, America's not gonna have no defense
right?
against all these missiles that are gonna be bombarding this place. You know, the defense system is pretty much gonna be destroyed. And that's what this goes into as well when we try to read a little bit more. Kind. And it says, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that will fan her and shall empty her land, but in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Round about her, against her, man. All right, not for her. It says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his burgundy. And the burgundy is going into his defense system, which he prides himself on, man. All right. Oh yeah, we got the most best defense system. We got the most, best, nuclear defense, defense and offense, man. All right. But in that day, like the brother just brought out, all right, when all those missiles are shot off at one time, he's not gonna be able to defend all those missiles, man. He's barely able to even able to defend the little test that he does, man. All right, because I remember reading an article where America was doing pretty much a drill in case of attack, and basically the missile failed, man, to be able to defend whatever particular target that they were looking for.
Yeah.
All right. So it says back in 51, verse. Let's see. I'm gonna jump down to verse 7. It says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Right.
So the nations is drunken of the wine of Babylon, man. Their women want to be like the women of Babylon. They want to be like the men of Babylon. All right. The you know what it is, man. All right, you know what they want to be. They want to be all these wicked different, all these wicked different philosophies and doctrines, man. All right. And it says, Babylon is surely fallen.
Surely.
All right. Babylon is surely fallen and destroyed. Oh, Shalakia. Babylon is certainly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so be she may be healed, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. So the judgment, basically, the Lord has let this place build up his path until ultimately it reached that point to where the Lord has to destroy this place as it destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, man. All right? Hey.
Like you say, could you read the letter in again?
It says, I would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us not go every one to his own country.
Right now, we're spiritually forsaking this place, but soon we're actually going to be in our own country, our own homeland. And these other nations, they're going to be in their respective, they're going to have their respective lands besides Esau Edom. These other nations are going to have their respective lands. They're going to pay their dues to us, all right, and be our servants and slaves in their order, but not Esau Edom, no, man. So we're coming to that time. We're going back home, man. We're about to go back home, but first this place got to get burnt up and reassembled, like the scriptures tell you. Hebrews, it says a new heaven, a new earth. And when you go into that word "new," it means refresh. The earth is going to have a refresher, a deep breath of exhale, inhale, righteousness. Exhale, righteousness, and breath. You got it out.
The whole earth is going to have that breath of life.
Yeah, all over again.
What's that one that says like the earth is gonna go back as Eden, return as Eden, basically?
I think it's in Ezekiel somewhere.
Like that's it roughly paraphrasing, right? Like it's gonna go back to Eden, to that state, man. Joy, yep. Peace, joy, yep. Shiloh. That's it, brother. I got this.
The new Adam, second Adam. You can go back to 2 13. Stop at verse 32.
This is 2 Ezra 13 and 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and a sign shall happen which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest a man ascending.
Yahweh Shai.
Right, and the scriptures tell you the same way he went up is the same way he's going to return, man. Mount Olive. All right, it tells you in the book of Acts. So we saw him ascend. Ascend means what? Go up. And we're going to see him come down and try that wine press alone, man, and deliver, like this 2 Ezra 13 is going into. It says, verse 33, and when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another.
Right, so they're gonna, you see the nations in that valley of Yehoshaphat, when they see Yahushua and the angels come back in the chariots, they're gonna stop fighting against each other, all right, to brace themselves against the Lord and the chariots and the angels. Go ahead.
And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting.
So they're going to try to overcome Yahushua and the angels. They're going to try to subdue him. Okay, they're going to try to get the victory over him and try to upset prophecy, to fulfill their wicked left-hand agendas, all right, which they're raging in. Like it tells you in Psalms, the 2nd chapter. Why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? All right, because ultimately these heathens, they want to do what Nimrod and past tyrants have failed to do throughout history, which was to create a one world, all right, order, and to ultimately rebel and fight against the Most High and to conquer him. That's the level of insanity that these heathen are in, led by Esau Edom, the man of sin himself. You got it right.
That's the level of insanity that they reach, that they seek to achieve, man. Because to have the entire world on that MOTB system, that's insanity, man. Why would we want to have your DNA inside of us, Esau? Shalom, Commodore, y'all better me on shop right. Why would we want to have our DNA, your DNA, Esau, inside of us? That's only given to the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. And Yahweh is going to come and defend us, man. Point blank, period. All right? We're going to say that into the end, man. Lord willing, we endure it to the end. But it says, 2 Ezra 13 and verse 34, and an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. We know the Lord is going to put the spirit on them to do that, man. They're going to be scared, but there's fight, like scripture said. So why would you be scared but still fight? I mean, you got a spirit on you, man. The Lord is upon you, man. You got it, brother.
If I could say this, I forgot who it was. I think it was George Bush Sr. He was doing an interview, and he basically said, he was like, he said, what if he was faced with an opposing threat from outer space, and he was like, wouldn't we put our differences aside and fight them for us?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think it might have been. I know the quote you're talking about, though, but I forget which president. It was before Bush Senior. It was I want to say it was maybe like FDR or something, or
Maybe Reagan.
But that's a good example,
yeah,
because
either way.
it's saying they're going to put their differences aside and fight Yahushua. They're going to put their differences aside and fight Yahushua, which is going to be no fight at all, Aki. All right? It's going to be no. The Lord is just coming back to display his glory and power, man. But as far as the Lord saying, you know what? I'm going to go with China toe to toe, my best nuclear capability versus their best nuclear capability. Nah, man. It's not going to be in there then. The Lord's not going to lift up any sword, any instrument of war. The Lord said, let me get it real quick. Let me bring this out real quick. This is Isaiah 54 and 16, it says, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. And who's that talking about? Robert Oppenheimer, man. Robert Esau. Because what? Those physicists came up with the what? Nuclear capability. Even a quote by Robert Oppenheimer is what? I have become to destroy your world. That's why it says what? I have created the smith that bloweth the coals. So the Most High is being sarcastic to you. He's all saying, look, you corner yourself with being the father of nuclear capabilities, but I created you, man. It says, and that bringing forth an instrument for his work, I have created the waster to destroy, man. Robert J. Oppenheimer, man. The Most High put the spirit on you to create that technology, which is being used in the planet Earth to destroy this place, man.
Yeah.
You got it, brother. That was it. Still the second action. This is back in Second Esdras, chapter 13, verse 35. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion.
Talk about Yahushua. Yahushua is going to stand upon the top of Mount Zion, which, when you go to Revelation 14, what does Mount Zion represent? The 144,000. You should have the name of the Father written there for it. It tells you what? It goes into the Lamb, which stood on Mount Zion. Okay, Yahushua is going to be that Lamb that's going to stand upon the top, upon the top of Mount Zion, the 144,000.
That's right. It says, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands.
Woo!
Man,
And that's
come on now.
You got it right.
You got it, bro.
You
You got it, bro. Man, get it out real quick. The chief cornerstone, man. I'm talking about Yahushua. They got it in Daniel, the second chapter, and it tells you, in the New Testament, it says that cut out without hands, man. I'm gonna get it for you because this is back in your. I'm gonna get it for you. You got it, man. I get that, man. I got you, bro.
All right.
This is Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
So when the days of these the rulerships of these heathen nations, the Lord says he's going to set up a kingdom. All right, and Lord willing, we'll be elect. That's talking about us. The Lord is building us up right now in the midst of these heathen nations and their rulership. Raising brothers up, to learn the scriptures, learn the word, to go out and preach the gospel. You got it, right?
Or if I could say, before you bring that out, and that's answering that question, are we going to reign with Yahushua, man? Because that first 1,000-year period is going to be a cleaning process. After that, man, all right, Esau is going to go into extermination, and we're going to reign forever. The scriptures say the saints will take the kingdom, man, all right, and reign forever. And then it's not going to be left to other people because nobody else is going to be in rulership except us, man. Just imagine that out here. We don't have to deal with no more heathens coming into power, ruling over us. No more going into slavery. That's true peace, huh? Yes. That's not Esau's version of peace where he said, okay, well, we ain't going to attack y'all right now, but just know in the future it can't happen. Nah. You got it, brother.
All right, this is Ephesians 2:19. It says, now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners.
There we go. That's it.
Yep.
That's it, brother. You got it. Beautiful.
It says, but fellow citizens.
Citizens for what? If you're a citizen, there's got to be a city. What's the city? Jerusalem. That's right, brother. You got it, huh?
It says, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of Yahweh, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yahushua Mashiach himself being the chief cornerstone. There you have it, man. That foundation, like the brother said, we being built up, man. We being built up through the Spirit, and that foundation being Yahushua, man.
If I might say before y'all continue, because we all, the three of us, we enter into the labors of our elders over our specific camps, who then enter into the labors of their elders, the brothers that's over them, who entered into their the labors of their elders, all right, who entered into the labors of the apostles of Great Millstone. Were built off of the foundation that the Lord, created through the apostles of Great Millstone, all right, and even the men that came before them, because when you go into it, in prophecy, the Lord, said in prophecy that He will raise up the tabernacle of David, right, and build up the ruined places, roughly paraphrasing it. And when did that begin to happen? When Yahushua came on the scene 2,000 years ago and raised up the disciples, starting with the apostle Peter, getting into the end, right? Which by default, if you can receive it in the spirit, the apostle Peter was King David. That was the beginning of the tabernacle of David being raised up. If you can receive that through the spirit.
Moses.
Yep.
But it says, Daniel 2:45, for as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great power had made known, right, all the other kingdoms before, man. All right? America, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Babylonian Empire, man. All right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, through Yahushai, King David, the rest of the 12, the 144,000 men, women, and children, all right? Breaking pieces all these other kingdoms, man, because that is New Jerusalem, man. That is the kingdom that, Lord willing, we're able to serve as citizens in, man. And when you're a citizen, you get the benefits of the city, man. Right? You get to walk the streets paved with gold. All right. You know what I mean? You get to be you get to embark on the journeys of that city, man. We want inheritance. You got it, brother. We want that inheritance, man.
Yeah, you get the benefits, just like Esau on this side. Yeah. Well, he gets the benefits because this is his kingdom.
Yes, all the benefits. He's milking this earth, literally, like the brother brought out, milking this place, man. But we're gonna milk this place righteously, man. The earth is gonna be able to breathe. Like Esau said, it's gonna be the great reset. It's really gonna be a great spiritual reset, man. New Jerusalem, like Amaya said. But it says, for as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power had made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
So just as the Lord wanted Daniel to break all these things down to Nebuchadnezzar, well now we, as as we're coming in the same lot of the prophets, we coming in breaking all these things down to the modern day king of Babylon, which is Esau Edom. The Lord's coming back, all right, like a stone, so to speak, to to bring the destruction upon Babylon the Great with violence, like it tells you in Revelation 18. All right.
Hey, like we brought out, y'all remember that lesson we did like maybe a couple months ago? I think you had posted a mind like the sure word of prophecy.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that interpretation thereof is sure, man. We got that sure word this time. We got the 100% truth. We didn't say we know everything, but we have the 100% truth, man. All right? You got it, brother. Second Ezra 13. We're just gonna wrap it up. Second Ezra 13 and 36, and Zion shall come and shall be shown to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands.
And ultimately, that goes to us coming down with those new bodies, those new indestructible, incorruptible, all right, immortal bodies, right? All right, to reign with Yahushai and to help Yahushai take down the rest of these heathen nations, all right, to establish the kingdom. That's right,
And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like unto fire.
Destroy them without labor, make light work out of them, basically.
Right.
It said Yahushua in verse 37, it said Yahushua is going to come to rebuke the wicked inventions of these heathen nations. And what is the number one wicked invention of the number one heathen nation on earth? This right here.
That's right.
Okay?
Right.
And how is Yahushua going to rebuke All right, the wicked invention of the heathen nations. Real quick, can one of you brothers get Isaiah 66 and 15?
I get it real quick. You got one, there you go.
Isaiah 66
15.
and 15. All right, this is Isaiah 66 and 15. And it says, For below, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
His rebukes with flames of fire. So that's how the Lord is going to rebuke, all right, the wicked inventions of the heathen nations by fire. Right. And as just said, all right, it's going to be in the form of what? His anger, all right, the nuclear missiles, nuclear technology, as well as what? His chariots, like the brother just read. Okay, that great partnership, which Ezra described as so big that it looked like a mountain. Okay, like we just read in 2 13 earlier in his camp. Okay, so the Lord's going to rebuke. All right, this abomination right here, along with the rest of the abomination of these heathen nations, by way of fire. Right. Okay. There's more of that. Oh yeah.
All right, verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
The slain of the Lord shall be many. He's going to trot down that wine press. Okay, so much to where it's going to stain his garment, so to speak, like the brother read earlier in Isaiah 63. Okay, and what is the main nation that he's going to come back to destroy? Esau, Edom, like it also goes into in Isaiah 63. Who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Hey, because why is that? Because Esau, Edom will be the top nation ruling the earth at the time when Yahweh Shai comes back, right?
And that's beautiful because the Lord singled you out, Esau. He singled you out in the fight, man. And ultimately, your techniques, Esau, the angels are really up in the heavens, just really laughing, man.
He that sitteth in the heavens.
That's right, bro. They're really laughing and saying, man, look at these nuclear missiles. Just fly like, what is that, man? And that's the power we trust in, man. All right? We don't trust in what we can see in the society, man. Our power is greater than that, man. That's the faith of our ancient forefathers that, Lord willing, that's us coming back, man. With that same faith to believe that this place is going to be destroyed once and for all, man. That boss at the end of the video game is finally defeated, man.
So, hey, we'll go ahead and end it off right there. All right, Lord willing, this camp is edifying. We want to turn and face the east. We want to give all praise and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, and Kakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, as well as teach well. Right. And also peace and salutation to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, whoever you are, wherever you may be at in these latter days. And until next time, we want to say Shalom.
Shalom.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Baba Ba.
Baba Ba.
Shalom.
Shalom. Till next time, Shalom.